the No Holds Barred show here with Rocky Juarez, 2000 Sydney Olympic Games silver medalist. How are you doing today?
I'm doing just fine.
And you're getting ready for your fight against Jorge Barrios. This interview is a bit of a departure because we mainly cover MMA, but I'm here speaking with a boxer. He's going to be co-headlining the card on HBO this weekend. I wanted to ask you your thoughts on MMA, what your first impressions were about it, and have they changed?
Well, definitely they changed, from the beginning of when they started. I remember as a young man, I would watch, MMA, Tank Abbott, come out, and the way they used to, there was no rules, So I think, I believe, the rules that they have now has definitely improved the sport. I think it was, at first, it was kind of more barbaric. But, it's a fight game, anybody's going to think fighting is barbaric. And, but I definitely respect all fighters who are willing to go in the ring and step into a ring or the square circle and compete. I think this is MMA fighting. I just give it up to them. I've seen plenty of fights, MMA fighters, and I just don't see how they do it. For the amount of money that they get paid.
And what's your take on the level of boxing that's in MMA? Have you seen anyone who with good, crisp striking in MMA? Are there any names that come to mind?
Well, there was a fight with I forgot his name. It was two white guys fighting. It was one Griffith, and he fought. It was years back. He fought a fighter, another white guy with good boxing.
Forrest Griffin, you say?
Forrest Griffin versus another fighter who was pretty good in striking and had a good boxing background. And it was one of the best fights of that time. And I think a lot of MMA fighters are coming in, going into boxing to learn the striking, where I think it improves. You had the Horace Gracie, who was good on the ground, and you just got raw talent out there. With 4-ounce gloves, it doesn't take too much talent. I mean, once you land a good punch, you're going down.
Nice. And would you be interested in maybe doing a little cross training? Maybe not fighting in MMA, but maybe a little cross training to get you ready for some fights?
At times, I'll be kneeing the bag. Sometimes just because I'll be watching, some MMA fights, and I just sit around. I'm kneeing the bag. As a kid, I would always fight a lot, and I think I always had the ability to be a good striker. And I was pretty decent on the floor too, but it's something I would probably want to learn, but not get into as a profession, because I'm doing what I always wanted to do as a fighter, which is professional boxing. But it's always good to learn. So I think it'd be fun.
Now, you mentioned that the MMA fighters, you find it amazing that they do what they do with the amount of pay that they get relative to boxing.
Correct.
Do you? I guess my question would be like, how much does it surprise you for the amount that they get paid? And what do you think could be done to maybe increase that or change that up a little?
Well, you look at these fighters, the best fighters out there in MMA. For instance, you look at the Tito Ortiz, Chuck Liddell. You see fighters like that who probably the highest paid fighters, some of the highest paid fighters out there with endorsements and their guaranteed pay for the fight. But then you have to look at their records. They definitely go out there and get good performances. But when you look at records, I think that's probably why professional boxers probably make more money, because of the records that show. We don't, like for instance Floyd Mayweather, who has no defeat, who's never been defeated in his career, and who's fought the best fighters out there. Rampage, great fighter, but when you look at the records, and they don't fight as often as, well, they do actually. They're starting to make it very popular, so I think it just takes a matter of time, and who knows that MMA fighters might be able to get. I think they just have to argue, their managers, and have to argue for bigger pay.
We've seen a couple of combined MMA and boxing cards. One in Vegas, there was one here in Houston about a month and a half ago. Is that something you'd be interested in maybe participating in down the line, if the timing was right and if the promotion was right?
In my line of work, I'll fight wherever, whenever, just as long as I'm getting paid what I'm supposed to get paid. So if they're paying me to fight in someone's backyard and they're guaranteeing me this paycheck, whether they have MMA fights on the card or not, it doesn't make a difference. I think, went to a recent fight here in Houston that had MMA and boxing together, and it was exciting. You know, it made out to be a good show because you have a lot of people who come out and support MMA fighting as well as boxing, and it's good to see both the same day on the promoter throwing a card like that on the same day.
Are you afraid of maybe MMA overtaking boxing in popularity, or that there's like a rivalry between the two sports?
No, I think boxing has been around for so long, and I don't think we're going anywhere. I think MMA has just started, and they're definitely making they're making a lot of noise. They're making a lot of noise in the game. But as far as people have their favorite, whether it's MMA fighting or boxing. So I don't think boxing is going anywhere. They've been around too long to go anywhere.
Rocky Juarez, thank you very much.
Thank you.